in your agenda, as I indicated, what I want to do is I wanted you guys to hear not only from a group of what I would consider thought leaders in the food economy space here in Detroit, local food space. I also want you to hear from the entrepreneurs themselves. And so we had the opportunity to listen to and have Linda K. Williams share her story about Mrs. Pruitt's Gourmet Cha-Cha. And I'm so thrilled that I have Elijah here with me, Majid, to share his story with Eli's Tea. And so, Eli, could you tell us a little bit about who you are and Eli's Tea?
I am Eli of Eli Tea. I started my company 2 years ago, 1 year after graduating college. And for me, I never planned on starting a tea company. I don't think anyone says I'm going to start a tea company when I grow up. That'd be amazing. Maybe you might want to say might be a baker or something. But anyways, I have this idea of a dream job where I was out in the field adventuring, and then one day also talking and cultivating, I guess, the culture of people that I met and sharing that story as well. Of course, this wasn't a real job yet, so I created that job that I didn't find, and that was tea for me.
So, Eli, when we talk about the very beginning, a lot of folks here are early in their kind of entrepreneurial journey. And so what I want you to talk about, Eli, is when I met you, you had graduated from Wayne State University, and you had started Eli, but you were actually going to an incubator. How far away from the city of Detroit? Before Detroit Kitchen Connect, and you were licensed out of the Matrix Human Services space. So speak to the fact that the process that you had to go through and where you were traveling when you first got your license.
At first, I was not able to be licensed within the area, so I was traveling 90 miles, or 90 minutes, I don't know miles. 90 minutes to just south of Lansing to Holt, Michigan, to use a kitchen called Incubate. It's a great kitchen, nice clean facility, open 24 hours, but it's a long drive. But Detroit Kitchen Tech was able to bring me back to the area and produce here in Detroit.
And so, again, we had a panel with Eli talk about Made in Detroit and how important that is. Did you work with a group of MBA students just recently who were here in the city of Detroit to help you kind of tell your story about what it means to be a business based here in the city of Detroit?
Yes. Recently, there was a program called MBAs Across America, which is a team of MBA students who travel between 5 cities to help out entrepreneurs. I was one of the businesses selected, and my team, we focused on 2 things. One, what is a Detroit business in 2014, and what does that identity mean? And 2, how can a small business work with a larger business? In talking and researching what is a Detroit business in 2014, we actually visited the Chinola Manufacturing Hub and looked at that, because in a way they're a little bit the outside guys. They came from out of state and they set up in Detroit, but they are, I would say they're the best at branding Detroit. It's interesting, yeah.
And so one of the things that I indicated even on our agenda was you represent one of the best things that's happening in the city of Detroit about collaboration. You are a Food Lab member, and I know you collaborate a lot with not only Food Lab, but business owners like April, who was here. You sell also over at Amanda's over at Always Brew in Detroit. You set up tea bars with all events. How is it, the collaboration here in the city of Detroit with other food businesses?
So one thing I didn't mention was before starting my food business here, I lived in Chicago and I moved to Detroit to start my food business. And that was because it was impossible to start a food business in Chicago. It's way too competitive, way too expensive. In Detroit, there's opportunity. People don't see it sometimes, but there is opportunity out there. And these collaborations kind of came out of necessity. My item is a food product. It's 3 to 5% water, but it's still a food product. But it's an accessory item in a way. It's a beverage. So what that means is I've had to think outside of the box of how I can both market and use my product. For marketing, I hold tea tastings at the cafes that I sell at, and then use the product, working at things like having tea-infused desserts created. I'm now also supplying tea-infused simple syrups to bars so that they can create tea cocktails. Just thinking outside the box and how to get your product out there.
I've tried tea cocktails, you know. I've tried the tea cocktails, and they're absolutely delicious. And so one of the things that I love too, and the guys just talked about, David, Ben, Lisa, Anna, in terms of the story. How important is it, Eli, for you to have a story with Eli's Tea? Because let's just be honest. I mean, Oprah just endorsed a line of teas at Starbucks. I mean, there's so much competition right there in the marketplace for teas. How do you differentiate yourself?
So it's not by accident that my company is called Eli Tea. It's not that I couldn't think of any other cool tea name. Could have been World Tea Adventure or something. But I wanted to call it Eli Tea as a means of giving transparency to my customers. I want them to say, this is Eli, this is his company. I'm going to email you a question about the tea. Answer it now. Which is what they do. And I mean, but it's a very slippery slope. I mean, if I don't know the answer, I would look dumb. So far, I've been lucky, yeah, I do want to give my customers that sense of transparency with the tea company that they choose. I don't think there's no Mr. Tivana, there's no Mr. Well, maybe there was a Mr. Lipton. Well, he's not in existence today,
But you know, so one of the things, Eli, and again, piggybacking on our last panel, and Anna mentioned about having something special, right? Having a product that differentiates itself. And so I've got to admit, full disclosure, like I said before, my family's from the South, Alabama, and the only tea we drink in our house is sweet tea, right? That, of course, is made by the bad L word, Lipton. And so folks are just starting to become educated about tea. And the amazing different flavors that you even showcase today. What are some of the ways, the guys talked about sampling, what are some of the ways, Eli, that you're educating your customers about tea?
So I feel tea represents the land, people, and culture where it came from, and that could be applied to any other food business out there. For me, I talk about the altitude of where it was grown, the seasons where the tea is grown in. Some of my tea is only harvested in the spring, some of it is harvested all year round. The flavor differentiates. I am now starting to source tea from Hawaii, and it smells like flowers naturally, which is amazing. It's flowers in volcanic soil. It's unbelievable.
One of your good sellers, and I know is absolutely one of my favorites, is it the Michigan, the Traverse City Cherry?
My #1 selling product is Traverse City Cherry Festival. There's a red tea over there that you tried. It's only 5 ingredients: cherry, hibiscus, rose, cinnamon, and sunflower oil. And it's my #1 selling product for, I think, 2 reasons. 1, it's delicious, of course. 2, it's something that people can relate to. People know where Traverse City is. They can point to it on a map. They know that it has that summer feel. And capturing the cherries in tea, I think it's only making it better.
Great. And so my last question, Eli, before I throw it out to the audience questions, is that I had the opportunity to follow you on Facebook, obviously, and I filled out the survey. Did I win anything?
Unfortunately, you weren't the lucky one.
Fine. Let me throw it out to the audience if anyone has any questions. Eli, tell me where I can find Eli's Tea.
I am in 12 local stores and also online. Closest one, I think, is Always Brewing Detroit. It's in the Grandmont Rosedale Park neighborhood of Detroit. But check out my website, elitbar.com, and there's little postcards on the side over there as well.
And I forgot to say this much too. It's gonna be exciting. I'm surprised you didn't mention it. But you're opening up a tea bar.
I am opening up a tea bar. I feel like I'm graduating from the Detroit Kitchen Connect program. I don't know if there's an official ticket or anything.
Did I win tea? No.
But I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to rent out space for other food entrepreneurs. to
Exactly,
use.
exactly. So Eli, congratulations on opening up your store. We're so super excited. And the transparency thing is absolutely key because you're sharing that story, that journey online through Facebook as well, keeping everybody posted
Oh, yeah.
and up to date on how that transition's going. So yeah,